I like the idea personally.
Yeah, it's a bit unsafe though, because what you do when you go for this Luna is you kind of... So, when this was played very often was when Luna was a really trash pick, because she just didn't do enough early and you just had to perma-farm on her, right? This was very popular around the time when the meta was a bit faster. So then Lunas would have to go for this build, because if you didn't have any tempo, you would lose. Right now, the option is not so much. It's a bit of a gamble when you go for the Ags. You kind of have to get kills on Luna.
You might even say it's a bit of a gambit.
So anyway, I think it's a consideration this game. It's not a bad idea. Against Oracle and Puck, it could be a bit of a difficulty because of Phase Shift and Fate Seek. We'll see. I'm not giving you that one. I'm sorry. I know you went aside. I'm not giving you.
That's literally what a gambit is, though.
I know. It was too perfect. I don't want to give it to you, because then you're going to start making puns. Like, I live with this man. And then he goes around and he just makes puns to me. He doesn't even say hi anymore.
I don't. I just say what I do is I get my top hat on and I say top of the morning to you, Alvaro. And that's
I puke every morning every time he does that. I'm so skinny thanks to that. I lost so much weight.
Astral's a pretty darn mean Earth Spirit player here as well. Just want to point that out. Nearly 30 games on the hero with a 65% win rate is pretty darn impressive. Of course, some of the times these stats are a little bit skewed, especially when you have some of the newer blood teams on the tier 2 or even tier 1 scene, because they're kind of just smacking around some, you know, lower division teams. But I mean, that still is a lot of practice here on the hero. So I'm really, really looking forward to how he will play this one out.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't mean that this team is necessarily bad when he says that. It means that he participates in a lot of tournaments where they have teams that are just...
Battle begins.
I wouldn't even say amateur, maybe say pro, right?
Yeah,
they don't play full-time.
Up to scale. They're not up to the scale of...
Like the tournaments of EPOS, for example, which you fucking participate in. Yeah,
that's actually where a lot of the stats, funnily enough, that where PuckChamp's games come from, actually, is when I was taking a little bit of a dive. So, yeah, no, totally.
I mean, we casted them in the Global Leagues, dude. Yeah, I know you don't remember. Yeah, because they were on a different name. Yeah, I remember them very much because they were like, oh wow, this team is really good. So you could tell. Anyway, I think this game in terms of draft, I think again the ease of execution falls on PuckChamp. They have a much more solid draft in that sense. I don't much see the synergy for Gambit, but they have very solid heroes. So jury's still out. It's easier certainly than last game. They don't rely so much on team fight, and their lanes are pretty strong. And we're seeing here that thanks to Luna's laning phase, the batter is going to struggle a bit early, but later he should recover a bit. Like once he gets level 3, 4.
An Astral with boots is going to be able to do a lot of creep lane shenanigans. You can already see he's going to skip one wave. Pubg is going to try and slow him down. Both with boots here, interestingly enough, here on the position 4 and 5.
Oh.
Earth Spirit is going to have way more mobility. Earth Spirit 4 with boots isn't too out of the ordinary, especially versus an Ogre. You can't go head-to-head with him if he does go for the Ignite or the Venom build. It's a losing combo for Earth Spirit. So the boots make sense, but I'm surprised that Pubg as well went for boots. So
predictive, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really, really wise. That's really incredible. So good stuff there, as we'll see Johnny just kind of CS here at much more ease now that the Bat Rider doesn't have any support here locally.
Yeah, I really like this build actually. It's quite clever because he actually is able to go head-to-head with the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is forced to pretty much take this creep wave, and he's not able to get a lot of last hits either. Usually the 4 takes a creep wave and worth of experience, but Pubg's denied a fair amount. And Pubg can play it super aggressively because he knows there's no way to kill him. Not with boots anyway. He's way too tanky here. So we're playing
without boots and not without an Orb of Venom on the Earth Spirit, absolutely.
Exactly, because he knew the Earth Spirit went for the boots as well. So as soon as you saw that, you're like, okay, he's lacking kill potential.
Malice went for boots as well, I believe, or maybe just first item, boots straight away.
And windless as well, so it's just full mobility. I mean, when it's a Luna, best way to counter her, right? Her best asset is her incredible movement speed. You counter her by going for more movement speed, you know?
Fair point.
Right, it's just that simple, right? That's why Luna is back to the old TI3 kind of Dota style.
I think her best asset, personally speaking, is her night vision. But, you know, that's just me.
Okay, alright. Sure. A creepy man wants to look at things at night. Oh man. I like her movement speed. I think she's really useful because of that. It's like an escape mechanism and just a passive ability, essentially. It's very, very useful. And her laning is strong, though. But I don't think Monkey King's laning is anything to scoff at either, and we're seeing this, right? Mars can't quite play aggressive against Monkey because you always have to save the spear for when Monkey's trying to get that Jingu Mastery off on you, and then you stop that from happening. But you can't really play aggressively and force kills unless you have enough damage to ensure a burst down on the Monkey King.
Yeah, and that's rather difficult here, even with the Blightstone on the bottom. Monkey King, agility hero, lots of base armor, so it's not really going to be doing too much damage to him. And Monkey King, basically, if you're going to set up that combo onto him, then he's going to be getting his Jingu stacks, like you said, and life stealing back to full. So it's kind of a losing combo there, at least early on there for Gambit. Mid lane's a bit of an interesting one, though. Puck versus Ember. Lots of very classic sort of mid lane matchups we've gotten here. Might just be a trade of CIS Dota, but last time, what was it? SF versus...
Wait, go top, go top.
All right.
Pubg is about to be burned alive. That is the funniest thing. Pubg just got like 5-6 stacks on him, right? And then he activates Firefly, and Pubg goes Fire Blast and walks right towards the enemy tower trying to commit suicide. And Banner has to chase after him just to try to prevent him from dying against the tower and dividing the gold. I say suicide just in terms of dividing the gold, by the way, guys. I know you can't commit suicide like that. But it was sequence of events of Pubg just going, nope, I am dying to the tower, you're not going to kill me, Bat, and Bat desperately chasing after him. Quite funny.
Hastrune spawns bottom. Lornoff is going to be able to easily snag that one, as both supports will actually rotate on over to ensure that one. Hastrune then in the bottle versus the Puck. Not going to be too useful once that Dream Coil comes out, though, and there is a bit of an advantage here. About third of a level here advantage in favor of our Puck, so it's pretty noteworthy.
One of the things that Pug's...
Arrow onto our Monkey King. They have no spear, however. Do they have the damage onto Crit? He's running for his life, and they've got the Oracle there to save his life, as well as just a couple of stick charges to keep him nice and alive.
Yeah, another attempt at the spear, but unfortunately he's not going to catch the Monkey King, and he ends up healing completely. Well played by the Oracle as well. A bit of save is also nice in this lane, making sure Monkey is not the easiest kill, especially if he plays out of position, which is why Crit is capable of going for a bit more dangerous farm.
Yeah.
I was going to say earlier, though, is we spoke earlier about how Ember is one of the faster ones out of the Spirits, but Puck is even faster than that in terms of ganking, right? He was one of the fastest mid laners in general.
He's not fast now.
Not with the haste.
Yeah. We do have the illusory orb. The bottle picked up. Lornoff. Ooh, not really sure what he was thinking, but with the Earth Spirit there, that kill is very unlikely, even with the haste stream. Bot lane, though, that one's looking a bit better, as Duka is going to be able to catch the arrow. Spirit to the tree is Crit, so he can't really do much to
beautiful catch
happening.
And unfortunately, I mean, Crit is still farming nicely, so it's not that big a deal, you know, killing the Oracle, but it is helpful to the Mars, because as we mentioned earlier, Mars is a bit of a tempo setter. You kind of want your lane to go a bit in your favor. You don't have to dominate it, but get enough farm so you can actually fulfill that role as tempo setter, and these kills help you a lot. The sooner you get these kills, the sooner you put pressure, the sooner you can take this tower, and the sooner you can rotate to actually create pressure elsewhere with your Blink Dagger or Yule Scepter or whatever. And Blizz is going to go for a Soul Ring this game, which is kind of necessary. That's going to delay the Blink or Yules a bit more. Wow, that's great. He dropped the Infused Raindrops to not lose a charge there. Oh.
Yep, value.
Small plays, huh? Yeah.
Small plays. That's what it's all about. Another rune here, bottled up for Ember, at least he's going to try, but the rune spawns top lane, and now we're going to see this beautiful combo. Oh, don't even need to kick him here, but they have. Oh, and that actually might have just saved his life, as the Elusive Orb need to travel that much further. That means that Lornoff is going to be A-okay. He's going to TP on home, leaving a Remnant behind, and he'll be right back. So the first Remnant Boulder Smash combo is a failure here, unfortunately, for PuckChamp.
Nope, they're not going to manage to get that. Well, no kills just yet. Mirana being slightly more impactful than Earth Spirit. One of the strengths of Mirana, of course, is she's just also a strong laner on top of a strong ganker. Yeah, Earth Spirit is much more around the... She really is. Yeah, Earth Spirit is much more around the ganking the mid lane, and against an Ember, it's tough, right? Especially if it goes for Flame Guard, Sleight of Fist build, it's very difficult for you and a Puck to get the kill on the Ember.
Oh, look at that. Do you know how hard Excess Vampire had to try there to nullify any attempt at a push when he arrowed the wagon? Just incredible.
Like
incredible gameplay from the Mirana. That's not hate on Excess Vampire. That's just hate on the hero.
I know. He should join the PPD hate club. He also absolutely hates that hero.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you not see his tweet where it's like, I played a Mirana and, for the first time and I went 9, 6, and 15. It was so difficult. I could barely hit 15 of my arrows. Yeah, it's like a very sarcastic, very good tweet though by him. I completely agree. Anyway, Blizzy in the bottom lane in trouble. And they go with a stun, not too much damage despite the passive. Blizzy and trigger that Jingu Mastery. Nicholas could be in trouble, and they might almost kill him. Mirana's going from the Fate Seeking, stops her from getting the skill. She does still have 2 leap charges, but has to reserve him for play defensively. She loses her Courier, and they're going to end up, well, not getting the Oracle, instead losing the Mars. Top lane, Ogre Magi is going to be burnt alive. Second time this happens, and now success everywhere for PuckChamp.
Yeah, this time they had to utilize the lasso there, but that's fine. What are spells if not to be used, right? What are they there for anyway? And good kill there. Decent space, though, for Zanny. I think this is something that perhaps I'm a little surprised by, but very, very little pressure actually applied. Ogre just tanking the brunt of this. You know, it's a lot like how Schofield will play in company, right? Just Fear, especially, is on the position 5 role, right? Not on his position 1. But he is very well known for this, at least in the NA region. So very, very well played there. To our poor little Ogre here, Pubg is then going to have to rotate over onto the bottom lane. So Gambit, even with the stand-in here, doing pretty well for themselves. Yeah, in terms of getting their carry farm.
Granted, the stand has a lot of competitive history with a lot of the players, right? So it's not like it's completely, you know, a pub player for them. As I mentioned, Pubg did play with Blizzy for a really long time, so they do know each other quite well. Dukalis could be in trouble. Yeah, the arrow's also very nice, and Laurenov's like, mine, and takes the kill. Yeah, that wasn't yours, by the way.
His fairy trinket.
That's the definition of a kill steal, but okay.
I don't know what you mean. He earned that kill. He had to walk all the way over there.
And you slide a fist, like, you know how hard it is to hit the Oracle? He's so skinny. Anyway, the face boots are complete on Laurenov now, thanks to the Oracle kill, or with this tower he'll complete them, and they'll be able to take the bottom tower nicely. And that's very important for Mars, because this timing allows you to now start rotating more freely with Mars, as you gain much more map control. But top lane is also falling for PuckChamp, so it's kind of an even trade right now.
Yeah, laning Sage is already beginning to break down. I think that just happens quite naturally when you've got some very, very fast tempo-based heroes, right? Everyone wants to start doing their thing ASAP, and that includes rotating away from a lane that is honestly just not the fastest farm for you. So everyone's just going to want to do that, get their farm, get their items. They're going to probably reconvene. Let's see here. Boot to travel on Batrider is absolutely massive, though. 9 minutes timing on that one is very, very impressive. And here we go. Speaking of which, immediately he's going to make the rotation. Duka nearby. They need a little bit more damage. Went onto Blizzy, and they have it. Laurenov's nearby as well. Still has a remnant to use, but the team rotating on over. He's going to want to stick around and fight. As Pubg running on over onto Duka, giving him the bloodlust here. No one to TP, no point to TP anyway for PuckChamp, as now Laurenov could be in some trouble. It's going to be actually leashed down. They're going to look to jump onto him now, and they have the magic damage there with the maxed Waning Rift and the maxed Illusory Orb. Nice kill there. Pubg, unfortunately, he's going to be left without really too much to go. He's going to TP out, however, and he is going to be then the only fatality on his side here. But there we go. Batrider here is going to be the
there's two, right? Because Mars died.
Mars, very good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Melis just proving the point, right? He's just, I got my first. I'm ready to fight.
I know why you forgot Mars. I know that you're making a point there, which is that Mars doesn't really feel like a hero right now, and it's true. Like because they had to rotate to help him win his lane, right? He couldn't quite get the experience and couldn't quite be the tempo setter we were speaking about earlier. And now he's going for Soul Ring Yule Scepter, which is not great because they both provide a lot of the same, which is the mono region, right? That's you usually go Yule Scepter first if you need the mono region, but then it's very common to skip the Soul Ring because why would you need Soul Ring then? But he needed Soul Ring for the lane, and now he's still going for Yule's because it's definitely the better item in this game.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for Blizzy to have the impact that we expected out of a Mars, so we're going to have to rely a bit more on the rest of Gambit to make up for him. We already have Mask of Madness on Luna, though.
That's a good point. I will say, though, that to your credit, right, just to explain why Blink Dagger is not going to be as impactful, simply put, it's going to be just impossible to catch the puck. You need the Yule Scepter, and speaking of catching the puck is catching you. Do they have detection? No, but they have plenty of AoE damage, and Moonlight Shadow's going to end. He's going to be silenced immediately after he puts down the arena. So just, again, not really feeling like a hero until he gets that item or two, and Malice, Puck, Earth Spirit, this, again, a very, very mobile draft from PuckChamps. They're going to smoke up and look for another kill. Very, very well played by PuckChamps.
Yeah, after the smoke, I'll say something about this region I really love that they just did here, but I don't know if the smoke is going to be successful, because the Batrider, okay, they scan to know. Very, very well played, actually, with the scan. They find Excess Vampire, should be an easy kill, unless, oh, no, Rolling Boulder, barely leaped. Hero seems very balanced, she still has one more leap to go, and might even be able to counter-initiate. Bat is done with her, I'm going to kill the Marauder, and down she goes. Monkey King even joins in, no Wukong's command, because he hadn't put the point in it just yet. We do have False Promise on the Oracle, though. They're going to use it on Melis, accepting Dukalis is going to die here. Melis will have to just run away. He has Firefly on, finally gone. But he's going to heal a lot thanks to that False Promise.
Yeah. You got 2 charges off there of the Fortune's End.
Right, so
maxed,
So what I was going to explain beforehand was that something I really like about CIS region is that you actually look at how Dota works in terms of spaces. Usually this bottom lane becomes the easiest lane for Gambit to farm because they took the tier 1, right? So it's why they're putting Blizzy here so he can recover. But in CIS, they very often, I notice, play with smokes or something where they try to go for the lane where everyone's farming, and play against the traditional Dota way, as we see Melis here, right? They're playing in a way where it's really hard to read them, and there's a bit of surprise factor, and there's a bit of just trying to destabilize the enemy team, and a lot of CIS teams do this. And now Melis might get punished for it, but if he doesn't, this play ends up being really good. No, he does. Searing Chains, they catch him, Fire Blast, and Melis will die. This will happen sometimes when you play what is called the anti-space, right? When you play completely opposite of what you're supposed to, but they're doing this on purpose because sometimes this creates too much of a... It's too difficult a plan to follow. And Gambit, despite the fact that they keep trying to recover on Blizzy, are unable to do so at any point.
Okay, yes, and I just want to point out, first of all, space created is what you kind of just said. But space created for what? Well, now we have, I believe the Witch's Blade nearly completed here for our Puck, already with the Blitz Knuckles, and we just need a little bit more CS there for the recipe, that piece of paper to tie it all together. Monkey King in the meantime here, for Krylat, he's got himself nearly the entire Aghanim Scepter. In fact, he just needs the Point Booster, I believe? Yeah, no, there's the Staff of Wizardry. So he needs one more component, so he's making excellent progress here as well. And all that really just off the back of the Batrider, right? Yes, the Sword Spirit's playing a pretty darn good game, 0-0 and 4, the perfect support score so far. But it's really a lot on this Batrider, as you've already pointed out. I feel like a
broken record.
Yep. What do you think of the Monkey going for Ags before Maelstrom this game? Actually, hold that thought, because Astral... No, never mind. Astral's God. He's fine.
He's fine, yeah. Marana is going to be even hard-pressed to catch up to that one.
Even if Marana can't catch up to you, right? You've done something right in your life.
She needs to be buffed.
I think Leap should have a bigger range, right? Maybe she have like some sort of like shard that gives her an extra Leap charge and maybe crit? I don't know. Call me crazy.
I think it should turn it into a global cast.
You can use it on all heroes.
You click where you want to be and you're there.
And
also everything just dies when you leap there. There we go.
Also remove charges. Just make it like a 0 cast point skill. Like no cooldown whatsoever.
They really want to fight here though. Gambit, are they ready? What do they have? They have the ulti.
They have the high ground is what they have, Richie. That's why they want to fight.
There's the Mask of Madness build that you talked about, but it's instead going to be, I think, more into just
the safe build.
Yep. So Yasha into BKB, which I think is fine and appropriate this game. I think really, now that you don't,
it's the right choice.
Well, you have a Mars, but not really. He's still just farming, right? There's a reason why we see the Mars only farming, and instead the Batrider running around bullying the Mars, right? There's a very specific reason for that, and that is because the Mars, simply put, is just too weak right now. No one on Gambit can really set the tempo at this stage of the game, and that's a real problem. That's why it takes 4 heroes to kill a simple Batrider at this stage. And for now, PuckChamp, they need to try and exploit this weakness for as much as they can in, I would say, about the next 7 minutes or so here before Gambit start to get some items running.
Yeah, exactly. Once Luna is farmed enough, though, they should be able to fight Astro. Really nice silence, by the way, there. And they continue the silence chain. Pubber's like, guys, please. Someone just killed me. And he has Witchblade, actually, on Desperate, which is the build that we sometimes see on more dominant Puck players. I think it's fantastic. Very much of a Puck build, though. And it does add a lot of damage to
as well.
Not in this case. They're gonna go for Blink Dagger on Puck, which I like. Right, it's a mix of. It reminds me a bit of when Limp used to play Puck, right, where he went for the kind of hybrid build where I go for a bit of damage and Deso Maelstrom, but I also go for Blink Dagger and some mobility and Yule Scepter or something. Somewhere in between. Because Monkey's also somewhere in between there. So
there's Axe completed by Krylat as well. 16 minutes into the game, a little bit before probably.
Right. So what do you think of that though? What do you think of Axe before Maelstrom? Now we can discuss it.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I think generally speaking, I think it's probably bad form. I think if you do that, you'll probably generally lose a lot of games. But here, because the offlane was just so farmed, they're going to try and turn this one into a Roche as well, and apparently Roche doesn't care that he's just being whacked on by 3 monkeys.
Roche is like, something is happening to me. I feel a strange pain. And should I go to the doctor?
Yeah, that's what it's like to have a toothache, I'm sure, or something like that.
Actually, I had this recently, so yes, and then I had to check about healthcare, and I was like, I shouldn't go to the doctor.
This is like Visage when he can sit the birds up here and do Roche.
Is this why you went to Ags? Is this really the idea to cheese the Roshan?
I didn't know this was a thing, to be honest.
This is the dumbest thing in the world. This is so stupid.
What's wild to me is that, like, you Spirit Breaker charge past Roche and he's gonna bash you, right? He doesn't care. He's killing you. You do.
Oh, Oracle! You woke up the beast!
Now you messed up. They've awoken the sleeping giant, except it's much too late. This Roche is completely dead.
Did you see that? It was just the second that the Oracle walked in, Roche was like, okay, I'm ready, let's murder these people.
Actually, more specifically, interestingly enough, it was as soon as
it was a charge. Charging the fortunes. Yeah. I mean, I know, I was just making the joke of him charging the Oracle, but you're right.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
That was a really weird interaction. I don't know if Valve please fix or Valve just keep it in the game. I mean, it's a feature until they fix it, right?
Yeah, that's kind of how Valve works. You're right about that one.
Is this even fair though, Richie? Who is to say, right? Who is to say?
Is that balanced?
Is that balanced? I don't think so.
You buy one item and Roche just dies? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think there's some room for discussion there. But let's be honest, that took a long time.
Favorite clip of all time. Second favorite clip now after the Slacks hotkeys. That's my favorite clip. And then
that took a long time to Roche, and Blizzy and the rest of Gambit have made use of this space. What have we got now? Blizzy has the Yule Scepter, so although he's still playing from behind and is currently being chased away into the trees by enemies rotating towards him, he now has finally an item that can potentially have some game impact here. Our Luna, not a Morana, is farming at an incredible rate. Nearly has actually a full BKB ready to go. Lorinov as well with nearly a full BKB ready to go. The question is, will it be enough? What are your thoughts there against Witchblade and now Blink Dagger Puck?
I don't know. I don't know if that's enough, to be honest. I mean, I think the Luna went for the most useful items possible. Maybe with Eclipse. Like, if you have Eclipse out, I think maybe yes. Okay, low enough. Okay, he breaks the Dream Coil, which sets up for the Silence and the Fortune's End and everything. I mean, I think even if he didn't break it, he was dead. So
yeah, he was going to be. Not to mention, of course, a BKB on our Bat Rider. So just incredible farm here on our Bat, who is actually more farm than Lorinov is. That might not surprise you, considering the way we just saw Lorinov die.
Yeah, that was a bit odd. That was a... I think his positioning was a bit weird, right? Because a lot of people now argue as well that the mid lane has kind of become the new dead lane. So, especially when you have a tower disadvantage there with the tier 1s. So it was weird that he was that advanced.
I think the play, I think he was just trying to cut the wave, right? Just try and slow down this game.
Yeah, as an Emperor, you kind of need to do that.
Yeah, they just got to pump the brakes. Who else is going to do that? Mars? We've seen how well that's gone for him this game, right? I mean, honestly.
And look at Mars doing that again.
Speaking of Mars,
defensive Yules.
He's got teammates coming over, but again, I mean, PuckChamp, they don't pay anything for really that effort. We might get a BKB charge out from Malice. I think he's just going to accept his death here. He realizes it's not worth it. He's overextended, and he'll take that death. But yeah, again, PuckChamp, very similarly to last game, a little bit less so, right? Because Fortune's End can be quite crucial, especially in a game in which you're losing. This Monkey King as well, Wukong's command, very high impact ulti, and even with Dream Coil, right, controlling and setting up for the kill onto Ember is much easier than with it than without. But again, they kind of are free to kind of pick and choose their engagements at will. A lot of these engagements, I think, are going to overall be a little bit less costly for them, considering that we have gone for the early Monkey King eggs, which gives you a lot of pushing power, to be honest.
Structures are
yeah, it's true. That's one of the strengths of the Ags, right? It's a bit of farming potential, not as much as the Maelstrom, but the pushing power is ridiculous. You can take objectives really easily, which is why they took the tier 2 immediately up top, right? And now the enemy jungle is theirs if they want to. Like, Gambit right now doesn't know there's no wards in their own jungle, but they can't go there, just in case, right?
Yeah.
So, which really... it really stops Luna's farm, and that kind of takes away from the whole point of picking a Luna, because the whole point of Luna is you get a Mask of Madness when you play her like this, you get a Mask of Madness and you vacuum farm. But when you're vacuum farming only a triangle, it's very easy to gank you and very easy to punish you. Pubg is here to break smokes, very well positioned by Pubg. They go for him. Astral does see Xani though, so that's a good death. Like, if that's actually a death creating or a space creating death, right?
Yeah, that's a fear death. If you watch NA Dota, if that's a Schofield death, if you watch SA Dota.
Or Pilate die if you're an old school person like myself.
Yeah.
is under attack.
You're like, oh, did Pilate just die 17 times and they're still winning the game? Wow, what a god. The Malk Award.
The Malk Award, yeah, classic. I mean, anyway, yeah, but that's another tower down, just like that. And in fact, I do want to bring up this little point. I think we're in a fight here, actually. But Puck has gone for
nice Dream Coil
build.
They're gonna murder him. Oh, nice! I didn't even consider that, but they're breaking the drink core like that is very clever. And he did go now, he's going for the axe, which I love. So they're gonna nullify this Luna BKE before she can make any use of it, honestly.
I don't mean to be
That's huge, actually. This axe is big. I mean, it's gonna come out very soon. They see the Ember, they have a lasso ready, but no Blink Dagger, so Malice is not going to be able to jump on him. He's 600 gold away from his Blink.
That Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep. Yeah, the Puck Axe is great. And she does a ton of right-click damage as well, which really increases their pushing power. If they needed any more, we've gone actually for the phase shift attack as well. I think that's fine, because honestly, you don't really lack damage in this game. Now that we have the Maelstrom up for the Monkey King, and Aegis, he's going to be going into his BKB next. We've got plenty of magic damage as well, up from your Oracle and your Earth Spirit, and of course, our Bat Rider is a nice cherry on top, who still has his own 10-second BKB.
And not in a good way.
Yeah,
For now, though,
which is huge, right? Because I think the Bat Rider of this game, something I like about Melis built, and also, by the way, he's not massive tier for nothing. He knows how to play this hero very well. But he's building him to have impact besides the lasso. So the lasso is a skill he owns, but it's most about the damage this guy can put out and the huge amount of magical damage output. Compared to the Mars, he's having so much more impact because of the build he's chosen. So I really like this build, this game. He already has Blink Dagger now.
Then.
What is this? What is this Kobold doing? Whose Kobold is this? Oh, that's
It's from one of the trusty shovel.
They dug it up with a shovel and they were smoked, so they didn't actually.
Oh wow! A Kobold is gonna reveal your smoke, guys.
That's what does it. Otherwise, the Kobold is instantly aggroed. Little fact for you.
Oh, that's
he will chase you down until you're dead or he's dead. And let's be honest, he's a Kobold, so it's gonna be him.
It's so stupid, by the way. The creepsing norm completely. Like Kobold is the most godlike creature in this. He's just like he exists in the realm of existence away from neutrals and this dire and this dire radiant war. They dig him up randomly and they murder him and he gives gold for some reason.
Only a little bit though.
Yeah, but why is this animal carrying gold with him? Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I think they can kill her quickly, even with Arena of Blood. She wants to use the Eclipse. No, he has the BKB, walks away, and Xani's going to be fine for now. Still has the Eclipse available. They want to chase after her, but Blizzy will have to sacrifice himself for the carry. Puck is going further. He has the Dream Coil ready to almost cancel that TP. Instead, only caught low enough, who BKBs immediately. The damage is high, but not high enough. And Ogre Magi will also be able to make it out of here alive. So in the end, PuckChamp aren't capable of turning this into a huge fight, but they do kill Blizzy and now mess up for crit. Great play, Astro.
Yeah, nice job there to Gambit to get out, but I mean, if you just take a look at the fight recap, you can see that was a very, very one-sided fight, to say the least. Yes, there was some damage dealt by Gambit, but I think all that damage was just damage in an attempt to escape and get the heck out of Dodge, right? They were not looking to fight there whatsoever. They came in hoping to snipe this tier 2 tower sitting on 75 HP, and they got the kitchen sink thrown at them instead out from PuckChamp. They're lucky to have lived with relatively few losses, and here actually we might get a kill onto the Earth Spirit, which on a pretty far position 4 is a kill that you will take, especially when it goes over to your Johnny.
Yeah, when you are losing, you'll take any kills. Like at this point, even murdering the Oracle would be worthwhile, right?
Definitely.
So you're quite happy about that. A bit of a misposition by Astral. They're trying to take over the enemy triangle, but the difficulty as well when you take over the enemy jungle is that you know they will defend their own triangle with tooth and nail, right? You know they're gonna fight this, and you have to be much more confident about your incursions into the enemy triangle. You either go as 5 with like an idea of a smoke or some clear initiation tactic, or you don't go at all, because Gambit will make sure that anyone in that vicinity will get murdered. Xani takes the...
Oh, there it is.
They do it. Factor protection is a joke to Luna, and this carry Luna, I mean, is working out. She's going to get the Scotty, and she's starting to become a carrier you can rely on now.
She is. She's actually managed to outfarm every single core on the, well, every single respective core, not put together, of course. She's no alchemist. But she's managed to outfarm every single core on the enemy team with still a 5k net worth advantage here towards PuckChamp. So that's really saying something there. As I believe they have not scouted Roche quite yet. Arrow will find Philiad, as there's going to be now a little bit of damage here out from Blizzy. Yeah, they're just going to hit him with a tip, unfortunately. Not really much he could do. They're playing Mars from behind. Must be the off-lane equivalent of playing Disruptor from behind. It is just awful.
Yeah, it sucks so much for the Mars right now. I think it's really easy to blame Blizzy, but I don't know what he can do to really wake up.
No, I agree.
Like, you're really just counter initiation this game at best, right? You can kind of lay a good arena. It's not like arena was that great. I mean, you're up against Puck, Bat Rider, and Monkey King, or Spirit can even rolling boulder through the wall, right? So It sucks
I
to play
don't believe. I mean, seems unlikely, but I don't know. But can Monkey King tree dance if no damage has been applied outside of arena? Will it let him? Because he's technically flying.
Yeah, you can, right? That's what I thought as well.
I would assume so. I mean, all you have to do is just damage the Monkey King, of course, lol, but it's not very likely considering how these arenas have been utilized this game thus far.
I mean, I haven't seen a single successful arena. That's the thing that I was talking about. They don't really have much synergy. Like, the best combo they kind of got is Eclipse into Arena of Blood, which is a combo that's countered by a single BKB, right? So it's not great.
Yeah. Plus, like,
usually that's not a good combo.
You have to agree to all its terms and conditions here. For some reason, it's one of the most restricted ultis in the game. I have no idea why. But even with the Aghanim Scepter, which if you cast the Ag's upgraded version of Luna Eclipse onto an ally and they die, the Lucent Beams don't stop. I don't know why. Normally they do stop if you just, cast it normally without Ags.
Oh, it's because it becomes an area around you rather than linked to your hero.
That makes sense.
Without Ags, it's linked to your hero. Yeah, that's why it happens.
But again, there's just like so many terms and conditions here to the Eclipse that
and also
a very hard ulti to synergize with. So I agree, that's kind of their best bet right now, Mars and Eclipse, I guess.
And Murphy's Law will state that if Eclipse is very close to killing someone, all the other beams will hit someone else. Right? That's what happens.
Or
every time you play Luna,
your max amount of beams.
Or a creep will walk, or someone will summon a Cabal down a treasure shovel, right? Something like that. Luna is that kind of hero. They catch you with a Dream Coil. This time they do have the Ags on the Dream Coil, which means they can still stun her despite that. Arena Blood is good to stop the enemy team initiation, but Xani's still in trouble. His BKB completely wasted, and yet again, it seems like a bad team fight for Gambit. Now the Eclipse, though, annoying Astral completely wasted onto the enemy 4, but actually managing to get a kill. Not too awful, as PuckChamp is unable to secure a single hero for now. Lornoff might be the only one they can kill. As they divide their efforts, they'll finish off Blizzy and Lornoff, but Melis went a bit too far and had to die as a result.
He did. Well, I don't know if he had to die, but he does die as a result of that one.
Yeah, okay.
They buy back on the Earth Spear. A little bit of exasperation there. That shows the difference. I mean, contrast this fight we just witnessed from PuckChamp, which in one word I would kind of describe as overzealous compared to the fight they took last game here near the bottom to do. They were just dewarded. They knew Gambit was in the area, and they go, you know what, screw it, we feel strong, let's go in and fight. We'll probably come out on top. They do, just because they're that far ahead, and they're going to get a kill here onto the Ogre for free. But it was a bit costly for them here. It wasn't for free. They did lose their offlaner, and they had a buyback on their position 4. So Gambit still proving that they can still come back in this game, but with this second Roche now, second Aegis now for our Monkey King, they are going to be feeling really, really strong. There's no mid-tier 2 standing. There's not even a mid-tier 1, sorry, a bottom tier 1 standing. So the push is going to be coming pretty hard and fast here out from PuckChamp.
Access Vampire does get annoyed a bit by the flame break, but Bad Rider's like, I mean, I'm chasing a Mirana, you know. Every time you chase a Mirana, you have to... The real fight when you chase a Mirana is not giving up halfway through because you just want to throw the PC away, right? That's the real internal fight that you're having here. Bad Rider could have actually caught up to her, he just chose not to.
No, what we should do is we should bring back the old Diffusal Blade with charges, and if you use Diffusal Blade on Mirana, she loses a charge of leap. I think that's how that should work.
I think you should be able to kill the Tiger, right? And then she can't leap anymore. Like, she can still shoot her arrow in Starstorm, but she's slower and she can't...
Dire's
you know, if you bring her to like half HP, she loses her Tiger. I think that would be a nice idea.
Oh no, they pop one again. Oh, he's broken.
Oh, it's Axe, dude.
Physical damage though is the good news.
Yes, Lasso
there as well. Lasso though with the Gem of True Sight, not really doing.
Here's the physical damage.
Yep, here he is. Here he is, and his name is Krylat on the Monkey King. Just getting a kill delivered to him there, to be honest. 3-4 and 2. The Ember Spirit, unfortunately, just doesn't have the game impact he's looking for. His 3K behind net worth in terms of where even the enemy offlaner is. Not even mentioning the enemy mid laner, his contemporary, who is then just jumping and diving under tier 4s and nearly getting the kill on the Exit Vampire. Fortify will be used, but there's the counter Fortify. PuckChamp, they don't want to back away from this. They probably know this Ember's got no buyback. He's so poor.
Dire's bottom tower is under
They know that right now they have pretty much free reign to take this tower, especially with Wukong's command available. It's not like Gambit can really easily initiate. Luna's just going to take advantage of this time to farm. They do have Eclipse, so they could try to counter-initiate this potentially. Luna's going for Lincoln's next to prevent the lasso. Oh, she did go for the Lucid Beam talent, yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, you beat me.
That's why we're in sync, dude. She went for both Lucid Beam talent, actually, including the damage talent, which was surprising to me. Because, I mean, okay, I get the cooldown talent, it was most of the movement speed, but the Lucent being damage tones as opposed to the stats is interesting. They catch the Monkey King. Should not be too hard to kill unless they manage to get him. Okay, they lined up for him. Extreme Cold counter initiation. It's good. Luna can't even use her Eclipse. Everyone's dead for Gambit. Line up, why don't you, right? Like, you're up against the Monkey King. He can't do anything against you except for stun you all like that.
That was
deserved. That's GG.
Yes. Deserved. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what that was. Blizzy completely whiffed the Spear of Mars. I don't mean to just point fingers here, but that would have at least interrupted the stun from coming out. They just had nothing. They just lined up and ran into their deaths. PuckChamp, they are going to be feeling really good after that game. Oh, goodness.
Dude, that was like...